What would make the leader of Israel call Britain the Islamic Republic of Britain? That is a strong language. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is used while criticizing the UK. But why? Why did he say this? Why are relations between Israel and Britain becoming more difficult day by day? And what could this mean for them? And the wider debate over the war in Gaza. He called the UK the Islamic Republic of Britain. This is not a normal diplomatic language. It shows just how angry and frustrated relations between the two countries, two governments, have become. But to understand why this matters, we need to look at the bigger picture. Islamic Republic of Britain, the phrase is highly controversial. Netanyahu appears to be attacking what he sees as Britain taking positions that are too critical of Israel. His comments come at a time when the relationship between the two countries is under growing pressure. For many years, Britain and Israel have had a close relationship. They have worked together on security, trade, intelligence, and other areas. So, when the leaders of these two countries strongly disagree in public, it gets attention. The conflict began after the Hamas attack on Israel on 7th October 2023. Hamas killed Israeli civilians and took hostages. Israel have launched major military operation in Gaza. The war has caused a huge number of deaths and injuries, and millions of people have been affected. The situation has also created strong political pressure around the world. The UK government has faced pressure from the different sides. Some people want Britain to give strong support to Israel. Others want Britain to put more pressure on Israel because of the suffering of civilians in Gaza. This has made the issue extremely sensitive. The British government has continued to say that Israel has the right to defend itself. But Britain has also spoken about need to protect civilians and provide humanitarian help to people in Gaza. The UK has also raised concerns about the situation in Gaza and Israel's military actions. This can create difficult balance for the British government. Imagine two groups are arguing and one group says you must support Israel, another group says you must speak up for Palestinians. The government has to deal with pressure from both sides, and that can lead to disagreement with the Israeli government. So, why should ordinary people in Britain care about one statement from the Israeli Prime Minister? Because the relationship between countries matters. Britain is an important country in international politics. We understand that. Israel is also a major player in the Middle East. When two governments that have traditionally had close relations begin publicly attacking each other, it can affect future cooperations. It can also make diplomatic decisions more difficult. Diplomacy means countries taking to each other and trying to solve problems, but strong public statements can make those conversations harder. Netanyahu comments also shows how deeply divided opinions have become over Israel and Gaza. For most people, in Britain, Netanyahu comments will not immediately change their daily life. It does not mean that Britain and Israel are suddenly ending all relations. It does not mean that the British people will face new rules because of that comment. But it is important because it shows a growing political disagreement. Britain has a long history of working with Israel. If relationship become more difficult, then there could be a debate about British foreign policy. And there could also be an argument about military cooperations, trade diplomatic relations, and Britain's approach to the Middle East. These are the decisions made by governments, not ordinary public. But they can influence Britain's role in the world. The Labour government is also facing strong political pressure inside Britain. People have very different views about the war in Gaza. Some voters believe Britain should give Israel stronger support. Others believe the UK should put more pressure on Israel and do more to help Palestinians. There are also people who simply want the fighting to stop and civilians on both sides to be protected. This makes the issues difficult for politicians. Any decision can create criticism from another side. That's the one reason why Britain's relationship with Israel has become such an important political issue. The big question now, if the war continues, political pressure on the British government is likely to continue. The UK will have to decide how it wants to deal with Israel while also responding to concerns about Palestinians and humanitarian situation. At the same time, Israel will continue to defend its position and its military actions. That means disagreement between the countries, two governments, could continue, but it is also important to remember that political disagreement do not always mean countries become enemies. Government can disagree strongly. For Britain, this is mainly a foreign policy issue, but it is also an important political issue because British voters have very different opinions about the conflict. The situation is still developing, and future decision by both governments could affect their relationship. Britain has traditionally been an important ally of Israel, but the UK government is also facing pressure to speak more strongly about the sufferings of Palestinians and the humanitarian situation in Gaza. For ordinary people in Britain, there is no immediate changes to their daily lives, but politically, this is another sign that Britain's relationship with Israel is becoming more complicated. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.